Over many years of devoted work as a veterinary surgeon, Dr. Stefan Lange had witnessed an incredible amount of pain and miracles. Complex fractures, battles with the rarest forms of tumors, exhausting diagnoses, and those unbearably quiet moments of final farewell, after which a heavy, almost tangible silence lingered in his operating room, remained forever imprinted in his memory. He had long understood that this profession required not only deep knowledge but also emotional resilience, the ability to make difficult decisions, and the courage to take responsibility for another life. However, nothing had prepared him for the events that began on the day Luna, a large cat in the final stage of pregnancy, was brought to his clinic on the outskirts of Zurich. Marina carried her into the office, her face revealing a struggle between anxiety and hope. Luna was preparing for her first litter. Dr. Lange smiled gently and spoke a few calming words. "So far, everything looks normal," he said confidently. "I see no reason for concern." Marina nodded, trying to manage her nerves. Luna was not just a cat to her. She had long since become a member of the family. Her soft fur, calm nature, and remarkable affection had made her the true heart of their home. No one could have imagined that this pregnancy would turn out to be anything but ordinary. The Kowalski family treated Luna as a full-fledged family member, so when her due date approached, Marina decided not to take any risks and brought her to the clinic to ensure everything would proceed under professional supervision. Dr. Lange's experience was evident in every movement. He knew that most cats give birth on their own, but since this was Luna's first litter, the clinic felt like the safer choice. As he examined Luna that morning, he reviewed the scans twice. Her abdomen had grown noticeably since the last visit, far more than he had expected. He looked at the images again, frowned, and quietly murmured, "This will be a difficult day." Turning to Marina, he carefully explained that Luna was likely carrying an unusually large litter. Her eyes widened in surprise. The medical staff began preparing the delivery room and taking their positions. Marina had been waiting for this day for nearly 2 months, about 63 days, which corresponds to the average length of a cat's pregnancy. Throughout that time, she had prepared alongside Luna, buying soft blankets, arranging a warm corner, and imagining tiny paws and gentle purring. When the long-awaited day finally arrived, the clinic filled with tense anticipation. Everyone was ready. Dr. Lange guided the process calmly and confidently, although even the assistants felt their hearts beating faster than usual. Remembering Luna's previous visits, calm and self-assured, he noticed that now everything was different. She was restless, making low, anxious sounds, breathing heavily, her pupils dilated, and her usual serenity gone. The doctor immediately realized that the process was progressing rapidly. "She's giving birth," he said, "and it's happening very quickly." He nodded to Marina and called the team. No matter how events unfolded, Luna required their full attention and focus. It was hard for Marina to watch Luna in pain, but the doctor gently reminded her that cats are highly sensitive to human emotions, and that Luna especially needed calm support at that moment. "Just breathe," he said softly. "She feels you." Marina took a deep breath and gently stroked Luna's back. Her touch was steady and confident, and gradually the tension eased for both of them. At the doctor's signal, Luna was carefully moved to the prepared area. The kittens were about to arrive, and everyone could sense it. The room fell silent, interrupted only by the first signs of new life. Usually, a cat's litter consists of 4 to 5 kittens, sometimes more, but this time they came one after another, first 3, then 5, then 7. Marina stood nearby, anxiously counting each newborn, hoping they would all be healthy. Luna showed remarkable resilience, remaining focused and strong. Although cats typically manage on their own, the doctor stayed close, gloved, and ready to intervene at any second. The atmosphere was tense, but filled with hope. Each new squeak brought relief. When the process was complete, 10 kittens had been born. It was an unusually large and complex litter. It stood out not only for its size, but also for the variety of coat colors. Most were light and cream-colored. Several had a reddish tint, and one kitten possessed a rare silvery sheen that immediately drew attention. The team exchanged glances, noting the unusual coloring and the almost perfect balance of sexes. 5 females and 5 males. Everything seemed almost miraculous, but then something happened that made everyone freeze. As the kittens began to squirm and softly meow, one of them remained motionless and silent. The doctor stepped closer and focused on the tiny body. Something had gone wrong. The word stillborn seemed to hang in the air, though no one dared to say it aloud. Marina covered her mouth with her hand, her eyes filling with fear. But Stefan was not ready to give up. "Come on, little one," he whispered, gently massaging the kitten's chest, warming it, and trying to stimulate breathing. Luna, exhausted after delivering 9 active kittens, remained attentive. She slowly rose, approached, and softly touched the motionless kitten with her nose. The gesture was calm and certain, as if she were saying, "I'm here." Absolute silence filled the room. Sometimes, despite all the equipment and medical expertise, it is a mother's touch that makes the difference. When hope was nearly gone, the kitten took a faint breath, then another. Luna immediately began licking him, as if she had known all along that he would survive. She lay back down, encircling the entire litter with her body. Relief filled the room, though the doctor understood that the questions were only beginning. What puzzled him most was the variety of coat colors. At first, everything seemed normal, but a few days later, Marina called to report that some of the kittens had already opened their eyes while others had not, even though this usually happens around the same time. The doctor suggested bringing them in for an examination. He carefully examined each kitten one by one, starting with Richard, who had a small light patch on his chest, but it was his eyes that drew attention. One was dark brown, the other bright blue. The doctor turned to Marina and asked if there were any others like that. She nodded and pointed to a second kitten, Daniel. He had the same mismatched eyes, similar markings, and even a slightly curved tail. Upon closer examination, the doctor noticed that the two were strikingly alike, yet the white markings differed in subtle details, as if the same pattern had been repeated with slight variations. "This shouldn't happen," he said quietly, knowing that even identical twins can have barely noticeable differences, much like fingerprints in humans. The realization sent a chill down his spine. He suggested a DNA test, and Marina agreed. When the results arrived, they confirmed something almost unprecedented. Richard and Daniel were monozygotic, identical twins, an exceptionally rare phenomenon in cats. However, it soon became clear that these two were growing noticeably faster than the others. The doctor then decided to conduct genetic testing on the entire litter. The final results revealed the last secret. The kittens had been conceived through superfecundation, meaning that within one litter there were offspring from different fathers. Marina recalled an incident during Luna's heat when she had briefly run into the yard, and everything finally fell into place. 2 fathers, 2 distinct genetic sets, and 1 pair of identical twins, a story that astonished even the experienced Dr. Stefan Lange and remained forever in his memory. Dear viewers, what do you think about this story? Please share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.